Hello and welcome to another edition of Grandstanders Live. I'm your host, Scott Kerman, and I'm joined by my usual cohorts, the Professor Russ Stevens, Uncle Joe McLaughlin, and he's JP's first son, Tim Hoey. Well, we have another great show for you tonight. So, boys, let's get it started. We have to start with the playoff-bound New England Patriots. I don't know if back and forth, they lose to the Dolphins, ends up pretty much playing the Bills no matter what. What do you guys think of the matchup? Third time, hopefully, is the charm. We're going to be in Buffalo. It's going to be 0 degrees. You're going to see a lot of the running game, fellas.
Yeah, what else are you going to see like that? All the pass receivers are hands of stone and that kind of thing. The football is so hard, it's like tossing a rock.
Yeah. Do you think, Russ, that he'll be as conservative as he was? Couldn't possibly be any more conservative as he was the first game in Buffalo. But you're going to have to pass the ball to win this game.
Yeah, you would think. I mean, more than 3 times, right?
Right.
It kind of depends on the wind, right? Like, if it's
you're
just
right, Russ.
really cold and not windy, they'll throw it 15. Look, they'll throw it a lot if they're behind at that point. I mean, the one thing remember about that game was they didn't fall behind in that game, so they could afford not to throw the ball. You fall behind like what they have the last 4 weeks. I don't care what the weather's like, you're going to have to throw it.
Yeah. And Timmy, all we hear about now is RPO, run pass option. I feel like the Patriots actually, their offense moves better when they're doing a lot of RPOs. You got to have to do a lot of that on Saturday night.
Yeah, I think like Russ mentioned, so much of this game is going to be dictated by who gets out to a lead first. If one team can manage to go up by 10 or 14 points, I think that's going to change everything that the opponent does. If the Patriots, maybe they get a defensive turnover and they can score in their offense. Maybe they get a good drive and they go ahead. Then they can just keep running the ball. But like Russ said, if they get behind, they're going to have to throw it.
Well, fellas, I'm telling you, Mac Jones looks tired. He looks tired. He looks exhausted. It's been a long season. The guy physically, I saw a picture of him with his girlfriend. He's still fairly.
What's he, 22 years old? He's not tired.
Oh, come on, Joe. He's exhausted for this.
Mentally, maybe, not physically.
No, physically, too, Joe.
I'm more with Joe. I mean, I think he could be beat up a little bit, but I just think it's a long year. I think a lot of teams now have a lot of film on him, know how to pressure him, know what his weaknesses are, and they're forcing him into mistakes. He's not been good.
I'll tell you that.
Well, you know what they got to do?
The defensive
when Buffalo puts that 10 in the box, he's got to throw the ball this time. There's no wind, like there was in that first game. When they load up that box against the run, they got to do it.
You know that interception where the guy came off his man and came over and picked the ball? That was off of film.
Yep.
They saw that play developing and they knew what to do. And Mac
tossed it right to him.
It didn't even cross his mind that guy might come over off his man. I mean, does Brady make that same mistake? It was a great defensive play. I mean, they didn't smell it coming, but he's got to stay away from stuff like that if they're going to have a chance.
Absolutely. It's a conservative game plan. We saw, I don't even know, before I discuss further, were the Patriots trying to win that game, Miami game?
Didn't look like it.
Because if that's moving forward, that they didn't even go for it again on the 4th and short one, is this what we're going to be seeing in the playoffs? Is this what we're going to be talking about the whole offseason? Is this ultra conservative?
I honestly, I do. I just think it keeps coming back. These guys are front runners, right? They play well from the front. They play horribly from behind. And, so I don't think they have the capabilities right now or let's put it this way. I don't think they have the capabilities to play from behind. And so you see them doing weird things when they're behind.
Their personnel doesn't allow them to be a come from behind team. They don't have the skill players. The quarterback's a rookie. They're limited in what they can do.
And Nelson Aguilar, it was a huge signing in the offseason. They gave that guy a lot of money. I know he was hurt with COVID for the last few weeks, but he's really been a non-presence the whole season.
Yeah.
Agreed.
You know, that pass should have gone to Aguilar, right? What, Timmy, your question was, would Brady do it? Brady would have looked off, would have duped him into coming off Aguilar, and he would have hit Aguilar going down the sideline for 60 yards, right? I mean, for Aguilar to be good, you need a quarterback who can throw the ball 20 yards down the field, you know, often enough for him to make an impact. Aguilar is a deep threat.
And he's stuck with them next year at big money. So Mac Jones has a lot of work to do this offseason. Josh Allen played really well against the Patriots in Gillette Stadium. We can't expect much of a drop-off for Josh Allen coming in on Saturday. Patriots have to play almost perfect football offensively to win this game.
Yeah, I think that I think Baltimore is a much more talented team. I mean, Josh Allen's a difference maker. He's, in my mind, if he can keep his head on straight and not go crazy, he's an excellent quarterback. I mean, and he's got some good weapons with him. If this kid plays anywhere near his potential,
yeah, we're in trouble. We need turnovers. We need turnovers. We have to win the turnover game. We cannot be turning the ball over 1 or 2 times.
And that's the linebackers have to play a very good game, especially the linebackers against Buffalo, because they're the ones that are going to contain Allen in one way or another, whether it be him running or his passing. They're the ones going to be responsible for the most of it.
You know, we always talk about Bill Belichick saving things. He's saving
no, he got
for the defense. Josh McDaniels is saving all this stuff for the offense. Do you guys still believe that in any way, shape, or form that some new stuff is coming on Saturday?
No, I think maybe from a defensive perspective, yes. We saw what he did in the playoffs a few years ago, right? I mean, the Patriots were underdogs the last Super Bowl, going into every game that they played. And he came up with some absolute gems for defensive plans that enabled.
Yeah, but Russ, do they have the personnel to even do anything different right now?
Look, their best players, and this is offense and we're talking defense now, but their best players aren't playing like they were early in the year. They're not playing like their best players. Judon has, no sacks and 4 pressures in 4 games.
Yeah,
JC Jackson's dropped at least 2 interceptions in the last 3 weeks, right? So those are the 2 guys who carried us through that winning streak. And then you go on the offensive side of the ball. Our best offensive player this year was Mac Jones, and he's played poorly. So really 3 of our best 4 or 5 players have not played well the last few weeks. So I think, yeah, he'll scheme it up and everything. But when the time comes, can Judon get home and can JC Jackson make an interception? Because the last few weeks, they haven't been getting it done.
Well, I know Timmy's a big supporter of Stevenson. Who would you rather see out in the field, Stevenson or Harris?
Me personally?
Yeah, I know you're a Stevenson guy.
I just think Stevenson, he has a lot of what Harrison has, but he has his feet are a little more nimble, and he seems to be able to make the cuts a little more than
Harris. Well, Harris is quicker, Joe, right? Harris is
a much more polished runner.
Right.
He's the one who has to set things up, and then Stevenson brings the bulk. He's not a very he's not nimble.
Well, I don't know. Joe, he's appeared pretty nimble on a.
Yeah, he's a one-cut guy. One-cut guy, follow the block and go. And he's going to bull anyone over. And he's definitely a hard guy to bring down because he takes 2 or 3, but he's not as nimble. They set up the defense with Harris. Harris is always going to be first and third quarter. Then when the D's a little tired, they bring the big boy in.
Yeah, I mean, I defer to you. On this stuff, but
I don't know if you. I take PFF with kind of a grain of salt. But he was their best running back in NFL this year.
Wow, is that
Harris,
right?
Damian Harris.
Really?
Well,
But
Brandon Bouldin,
Ramondre Stevenson was the rookie of the year at his position.
Honestly, I'm happy whenever they hand the ball to either one of those guys.
Me
right?
too.
Yeah.
I mean, and if they're both fantastic, it's hard to choose between them. And if the offensive line plays well, they'll have a good day. I mean, look, they ran the ball on Buffalo when Buffalo knew that all they could do was run the ball up in Buffalo. And it didn't work as well in New England, obviously. But if they get back to that, run the ball, Mac doesn't make mistakes, they have a shot.
I know between Stevenson and Harris, Rusty Boy will take Brandon Bouldin.
Hey,
Hey,
don't
Bouldin.
sleep on Brandon. He's been
The three-headed monster.
steady Eddie.
Look at that. I knew I'd get a reaction. There you go.
The three-headed monster.
He has made dummies out of all of us except for Russell this year.
He
Except for
really
me.
has.
Yep.
Bouldin, and then even last week he made a great move.
Yeah,
Wow. That was like an O.J. Simpson move without the two murders.
Yeah.
I mean, that was unbelievable. The cut he made for a touchdown. It was
So
a
what do we
video
do?
game.
We pray for the worst weather possible
Yes.
this week.
That's
right?
exactly what I was going to say, Timmy. Like, you want the worst, you need as much external disruption as possible in this game. Cold, wind, snow, because it'll level the playing field.
Yeah,
I
we
think
hope.
it's gonna be very cold. I don't know about the wind though,
Yeah.
but
Um,
Buffalo's famous for that wind.
Buffalo's quarterback is the real deal. This kid is good. And
Okay, so
we can't match
what
him in that
what offensive player has to stand out that other than Mac Jones that you'd like to see stand out to put the Patriots over the top?
Well, can I put an entire unit there and say the offensive line?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I mean, obviously that's half of the.
Okay, I'll pick one guy. I'll pick Brown.
Yeah.
I'll pick Brown. Has to be completely dominant.
Yeah. I'm with Tim. I don't think it's a skill player thing. I mean, it's Mac Jones, but
Yeah.
I don't think it's a skill player thing. I think it's the offensive line has got to create a run game and protect Mac when he has to go back to pass and give him as much time as possible. I just think this whole thing is going to come down to their offensive line and their defensive line.
Well,
Joe-
it's going to be tough because Andrews got destroyed both times against
Yeah.
Buffalo.
Yeah,
He really had terrible games. So, but if you put it on the tackles, because who knows if Isaiah Wynn's going to play.
Yeah, what's
No.
the report on that? He got out of the Dolphins game because of an ankle. What's the report on him?
I haven't heard anything more.
I have
So,
not-
Joe, is his replacement that much of a downgrade?
I don't think so. Heron does a fine job on pass protection, it seems.
And we'll save 4 false starts in the game. You know,
But
what I
why
mean?
isn't Owenu?
No.
Why doesn't Owenu get pushed into that spot?
He doesn't play left tackle. He only plays right tackle, right? So
Yeah.
you'd have to move Brown over to left tackle.
On when they kind of save him to be in that jumbo package in that 13 personnel.
Well,
you know?
desperate times call for desperate measures. You know.
Oh
So
yeah.
I do have a quiz for you, trivia question,
Okay.
Scotty. I know you love this stuff. The last rookie quarterback to win a playoff game against a veteran quarterback.
Ugh.
His
We all
name
know-
was
Drew Bledsoe.
no, not for the Patriots. Just I'm talking in the NFL. The last NFL rookie quarterback to win a playoff game with an opposing veteran quarterback, meaning not another rookie. So in 2012, Russell Wilson won a playoff game as a
Beat
rookie,
another
but he
rookie, though.
beat RG3.
It's that long. ago.
No. It's
No, that's
longer.
not
That
the
doesn't
question.
even
Dan
count.
Marino.
No.
Ben Roethlisberger.
Mark Sanchez in 2009 against the Patriots.
Oh
That's the
my
last
God.
time a rookie quarterback beat a veteran quarterback in a playoff game. It's freaking hard. This whole game's coming down to Mac Jones, guys.
Yeah, they're gonna make it all about Mac Jones,
Right?
Unless there's a blizzard.
Rex
Yeah.
Ryan's wife got Mark Sanchez tattooed on her thigh after that game.
Yep.
Remember?
2000, and that's 13 years ago is the last time a rookie quarterback won a playoff game like that.
Yeah, so this is a very
You know,
different.
Vegas has to be taking notes on that, right? I mean,
What's it?
What's the spread?
They knew that years ago.
Scotty, what's the spread?
4.5, right?
Hmm.
4.5.
Must be a pretty low over under too.
Yeah. Oh my God. Yeah. So it's supposed to be what, 0 degrees at game time?
Yeah.
What was the score the last time out there? 14-10?
Yeah.
So if it's bad, if the wind's bad again, it's going to be like that again.
Look, we can't, the whole idea of that, the way we played that game, we almost lost that game. They had a chance in a few plays at the end to win the game.
Yeah.
So it's not like that was such a great, way to go about things. Patriots have to score probably at least 28 points to win this game, wouldn't you say?
They need a defensive score or a special team score because they're not scoring 28 with that offense.
The over-under was 43.5 as of a couple of days ago.
Okay, yeah, well, Vegas knows what they're talking about. That's probably makes sense.
That's 24-20.
We'll obviously do the predictions. On defense, the guy for me who needs to step up is Judon. He's been the star of the team. They go as Judon goes. He looks a little tired and seems like he's been, when he's played, he's been on the sidelines.
Hold on 1 second. I'm just looking at something on the internet saying Buffalo 6.5.
Okay, so that's gone up.
Yeah,
so obviously the heavy money on Buffalo.
43.5 on the over-under.
Yeah, I think it started at 4.5. That's what I had heard. So that's heavy money, right, guys?
The national money must be really coming in on Buffalo.
But big time wise, to rise up 2 points.
Yeah.
That's off. That's
with
off
no major injuries. That's almost unheard of.
Tipco.com. Tipco.com. I don't know how reliable that is.
Yeah, look, I mean, obviously, if the Patriots were in these identical situation that the Bills were, we'd be feeling pretty good about this game. The whole factor is, can the defense, can the old men, can the Hightowers, the Collins, the Van Noys, can they step up and play a game that helps contribute to a huge road playoff victory? I think that's the storyline.
One other factor we might get, so Buffalo came in with the chip on their shoulder last game, obviously. Those guys were ready to go out there and chew raw meat after that loss, Could that kind of reverse pressure be going? The pressure is on them right now. I mean, this is supposed to be the moment that they get the revenge for the last 20 years, right? I mean, can that work against them?
Well, the pressure's on them they're expected to win by everyone. Obviously, you see that with the spread going up, moving 2 points.
Well, the stats on rookie quarterback.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
All these years.
Buffalo's one of those crowds, guys, that they turn on the Bills really quickly. Just so you know, they're not they will turn and get quiet. You can take them out of the game very easily.
And particularly Josh Allen. I mean, he's had some big games where he's beat down his leg before. And I just wonder, the striking thing about their game plan when they played in Foxborough was they really were not aggressive with Allen at all. And, if you remember, the play that won them the game up in Buffalo was that, I guess it was 4th down, where they sent everybody and they played man-to-man against those guys. Like, could you see Joe Belichick saying, we're just going to pressure the crap out of Allen all day long. We're going to harass this guy. We're going to hit him late and just make this guy's life as miserable as possible. And if he can beat us big on blitzes, God love him, but he's not shown the capability to do that.
No, I think you beat him more by trying to make him do too much.
That's exactly right. Yeah.
Well,
that's when
they
he
tried
starts
that.
to make
By the
errors.
way, they tried that in Foxborough and it didn't work. They played bend don't break defense and he killed them.
Yes, he did. Hey, I mean, he's talented, but he doesn't always have great games. He's a very Jekyll and Hyde guy, and sometimes he might feel the pressure of being the top dog, everyone expecting him to win, and maybe he doesn't come up. He overthinks it.
Belichick's in his lab right now, trying to come up with something.
Yeah, if Belichick can put some doubt in his mind early, like in the first series, get him 3 and out and really confuse him. And it might be the way you mean to do it with the full out blitzes, Russ.
Just be aggressive. Go down fighting. Don't go down like having these guys pick you apart all day long. Go just try to beat the crap out of these guys.
Yeah. But that worked because they didn't rush him all game long
Yeah.
because they know
Yes.
he usually beats the blitz.
I agree with Russ because he has that Steve Grogan, Drew Bledsoe personality where he's not going to throw it away. He's a lot of off balance, cross the field passes. He got away with that in Gillette Stadium, but we know if you do that a couple of times more in an NFL game, those guys are awful quick. They will make you pay for that. So I'm all for it with Russ.
Well, the only thing with that is he's one of the few arms in the league that can get away with that sometimes.
Yeah, but
and he's as big as Judon and the other linebackers too. Remember, he's a big kid.
You got to shake him up, and at 0 degree temperature, if you hit a guy, that hurts a lot more.
Yeah, hurts more than the summer day.
Do they have natural grass up there, or do they have turf?
Turf.
Turf. All right, boys.
Turf.
Who on defense needs to stand out from the crowd? And I'm taking Judon away because that's the natural. Who other than tell me?
I think basically the interior defensive linemen. They've gotta just build a wall and not let them run it. Get some pressure on them and just force them into mistakes. I think it's going to start there.
Godcho had the game of his life in the first Buffalo game, and then disappeared in the second one.
Yeah,
or they ran away from him. But
that may be that was the game of his life, literally, Joe.
Do we think they're just going to put Jackson right on Diggs and?
That's what they've been doing.
But it wasn't Diggs who killed him. It was that
Isaiah McKenzie. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And then Beasley. It's probably better to have Beasley there than that kid. He killed us.
And we might not have Mills, our second cornerback. He's in the COVID protocol now.
How about Barmore?
Haven't heard. He's nursing in. He's limited. Was all they said. Didn't say that he was questionable or doubtful or out.
Here comes the Toradol.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Injury on Barmore. What is it? A leg?
I don't know, but it didn't.
Ankle.
The MRI came back clean, so I don't know, but he's not going to be full strength, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, he twisted his ankle, so.
Who replaces him, Joe?
Guy, Godcho, any one of those guys.
Okay.
Carl Davis. Carl Davis will probably see more in that, what's his name, like Ikale.
Oh, yeah.
The practice squad that they bring up every week, it seems.
He's smart. Every time he makes a tackle, he jumps around so the camera can see his number and stuff.
Yeah, when they saw him on that offsides, though.
Yeah.
Joe.
And even when he doesn't make the tackle, he knows exactly where the camera is. If you notice that, watch.
They fooled him on even Tua fooled him on a rookie mistake. There, and he went, off he went across the line.
But actually, he's contributed for a guy who's keep on going back up and down from what he's contributing.
Same with that D'Angelo Ross and the wide receiver had that one great game. Wilkerson.
Yeah. So they've expanded the practice squad, allowed different types of players to be able to go on it now, stuff, and I think they should continue that. That definitely helps the quality of play when you have that. All right, boys. Well, first of all, it's 8:00 at night on Saturday night. Love it. It's so much better than another time. You can have your day and settle in for a nice Saturday night watching the Patriots. What's going to happen? We'll start with Uncle Joe.
Oh, who knows? I go right back to what Russ said at the top of the show. It all depends on the wind there in Buffalo. If the wind's coming off Lake Erie, you're going to have a game like the first game. If the wind isn't coming off, even though it's 0 degrees, you'll get a game like the second game. Remember, what was it, 0 degrees, Tom Brady's last game against the Chiefs there in Arrowhead, and that was a high-scoring affair.
All right, give me a score then, Joe.
Oh, it was, I hate this. I think Buffalo's going to win, but you will never hear that score come out of my mouth. I'll go 24-20, Patriots in the over.
Oh, there we go. Russell.
I have no problem picking against the Patriots. I've been
just won't root for them
because he doesn't want to wear that shirt.
That's right. I think the Patriots lose 19-10. I don't think we ever really get liftoff in this game.
Oh, wow. And it's just 19, not even at one score at the end. All right, Timmy boy.
I think the Patriots lose 17-13. I think we get down quick, and then they try to claw their way back. They'll get a couple of field goals to, make it interesting, but I don't think they have the horses this year.
Yeah.
I hate to go against the Patriots. I really do. But I don't think they're going to win this game. I think the season's over. They just haven't shown enough life in the second half of the season. The Patriots, and I think they lose 27-10. I don't think it's going to even be that.
Sounds like I should order that number 10 shirt right now.
Yeah.
They seem to have just peaked too early or something. They were playing their best football a month ago.
Yeah.
And they kind of faded since then.
No, I don't know if it's fading. I think they are who they are. It is.
They played a little better
look,
caliber of competition in the last 4 there.
They looked half decent though there for a little while.
But this is all we could expect, Timmy. To be honest with you, for as bad as we were, for the player personnel change, for a quarterback change, a rookie, to win 10 games, I think is an extraordinary.
They do talk about this rookie wall, and I think Mac hit it a little bit this year,
But usually you get through it.
Yeah,
how many rookie has there ever been a rookie quarterback who's won a Super Bowl? No.
No.
And also the 17
no rookie quarterback has ever taken his team to it. So that's this is really, really hard what they're trying to do right now.
And 17 games didn't help Mac either. I don't think,
The defenses get so complex and tough right now.
Look,
they've had all year to practice and perfect the thing.
That's right.
That he is totally befuddled by what he's seeing.
They were not the same team after the bye. That was the break in the season, right? They started off slowly, but even the games they lost after that New Orleans game, even the games they lost against Tampa and Dallas, they played really well in those games. Yeah. They went on a streak, got to their bye week, and they just never picked up the balls after the bye week.
Yeah. Well, that extra week, just 17 weeks, all the NFL players must be exhausted right now. It's going to be very interesting. I think you're going to see some upsets in this playoff that we're not thinking about right now. But look,
it can almost be more fun sometimes when the Patriots aren't in it.
Whoa.
Oh, no.
Oh, you are sick. Go to bed, Timmy. What? It's never fun. No.
I don't know. I can objectively watch all of the other games and not worry. The Patriots.
He wants to root for Jimmy G against Dallas.
No, the Patriots. When I watch the Patriots, I get like a pit in my stomach. Like I have to do laundry. I have to clean the house. I have to do something during the game.
It's tough.
I know what Timmy's talking about. I understand. You can just sit back and you don't have a horse in the race.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah. You can just be like, oh, that was a good play. Oh, look at that. Oh, this is an exciting game. And I don't really give a crap who's winning or losing. I just take it for the enjoyment of the game. If the Patriots are in it, I have this constant nervousness about
That's life. That's life.
I know it is.
That's life. It's not always dessert. Sometimes you have to eat peas. That's not. I don't care.
Scotty,
it's all about.
Scotty,
I'm not doing this show for other. I'm not doing this show for other freaking games.
You're taking it the wrong way. You take it the wrong way. I would love it if the Patriots won. I would love it. Okay, but there's like a certain relaxation mode that I'll go into if they're out of it.
I want to be on. I don't want to be unrelaxed. I want to be uncomfortable. I want to watch my team. I want to pace. I want to cuss. I want to throw things. That I want to have a pulse. Who gives a rat's ass what Tennessee does? Oh my God!
Well, it depends on if you have a few quid on the game, doesn't it, Scott?
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Soft on me, my boy. That's my Timmy boy. You are soft. Jesus Christ! Let me look.
Tim has to watch the game through the window outside.
COVID makes you soft when it comes to your home team. What the? All right.
I just don't have a lot.
My God!
Guys, what can I say?
Can only imagine what you're gonna have to say about Tuca. Oh, I love him so much. Oh my God. Such a cute name. It's too.
He's on the bench tonight, though. He's not between the pipes.
Who wrote in the text? Joe said if this team was based out of Florida and the golf courses were still open, Tuca would be freaking not playing any hockey right now.
All right, we're going to the Celtics. I have to be so Timmy. I had a lovely time. Timmy and I went to the game on Saturday. Thanks again, Timmy.
My pleasure.
When the Celtics were playing well on Saturday, fellas, and Timmy can agree, Jason Tatum was not on the court. I'm just telling you what I saw.
I agree, Scotty. This has been a subject of conversation.
Right, Timmy? I mean, it was clear that the team played like a team, passed the ball, played defense when Jason Tatum was not on the court.
And what happens when he gets in there, Scotty? Isolation, dribble, step back three.
Yep, absolutely. All the other 4 players go in a corner and smoke cigarettes.
Well, if this could be taken care of, if they would just get a point guard that would handle the ball and run the offense. Okay. But no, they just get a guy that either brings it up and shoots or brings it up and hands off to Tatum.
Jason Tatum is part of the problem. He's not the only problem. Jalen Brown has been just as much a part of the problem as Jason Tatum has. He was atrocious in that 3-game losing streak. When Jason Tatum wasn't there, he was atrocious at the end of the year.
But he's like a quasi Jason Tatum. You know, like
you know that Jalen Brown.
Tatum's out there, man. When Tatum's
out there, Brown's assist to
Jason Tatum show.
Do you know that Jalen Brown's assist to turnover ratio is 1-to-1?
Yep.
That's a disaster. Like if you are not and by the way, I love Jalen Brown. He's my favorite player on the team, but this is not all on Jason Tatum. Jalen Brown's 1.8 turnovers a game to 1.8 assists a game. That is a disaster for a high-end player.
Well, you know what their biggest problem right now is? Remember how good Al Horford was in the first 20 games of the year?
Not good.
Al Horford stinks.
He stinks right now.
He is awful. The team must be like minus 30 when he's on the court now. He's awful.
Look, Joe, you said it. They do not have a natural-born point guard.
Someone to handle
who can be the floor general at the end of a game and make sure if Brown's hot, they're getting the ball to Brown, or if Tatum's hot, they're getting the ball to Tatum, or if neither of them are hot, they're getting the ball to Grant Williams, who's shooting 45% on open 3-pointers in the corner.
Oh, did you guys see that article by Shaughnessy? He was talking to Bob Cousy.
Yeah.
You know, and Cousy was saying he remembers a game where they had a lead, a 5-point lead, and he didn't handle the ball properly. And he remembers it from 50 years ago. And they asked Jason Tatum the same question, and they asked Jalen Brown the same question, and Jalen Brown said, "That game's behind me. I've forgotten about it already." Yeah. You know, they need a point guard. It's so freaking obvious.
That's right.
A veteran point guard.
Yeah.
Right. So I'm saying they don't need to go in the draft and get a young guy because we know with Tatum and Brown, they don't respect these guys.
They've got a perfectly good backup kit in Pritchard there.
That's right.
For cheap. So spend $1 on, a good point guard. But all I read about is they're looking for a backup power forward.
Oh my God.
They're trying. All the rumors are they're trying to get Jeff Green.
Oh my God!
For God's sake!
Maybe we can for Kendrick Perkins. Can we trade? Do we still have rights to him? Jeff Green for what? For our championship run? Explain that to me.
It doesn't. I don't buy it for a second.
Yeah, I don't buy it. The only explanation you could make for trying to find somebody in that spot is these guys are playing too many minutes. Like one of the reasons why they're not playing well at the end of games is that in the last 2 minutes of the game, these guys have already played 38 minutes.
I agree. Tatum is usually way too tired. That's why he's so sloppy in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, I mean, the team is not constructed to win, and I just hope that Brad makes the right decision and does things to set them up for the future, not necessarily tank, but set them up for the future as opposed to some stupid run to try to make it into the second round of the playoffs. What's the
if this lack of a competent point guard is this obvious to us non-basketball experts, they have to be seeing this.
Absolutely. But look, nobody overvalues their players more than Boston fans.
That's true.
The moment you put that uniform on, you're the best, and everybody wants to give you all these great prospects and blah, blah, blah. So it's pretty clear.
We never get them in return.
Yeah. It's pretty clear that Brad Stevens, would you agree with me, has shopped the Schroders of the world, the Al Horfords of the world the Richardsons, and nobody wants to give them.
Well, but hang on just a second, though.
Richardson's is signed for another year.
The only thing I would say to that, Scotty, is, and because there have been no trades in the NBA so far, the NBA has been scrambling to band-aid the COVID stuff. They were pulling up guys like Joe Johnson. These GMs haven't even really begun to get into the trade deadline stuff yet. So I do think we got to give Brad until the deadline, because in the offseason, he shook some things up.
No,
right?
Absolutely, yeah.
Right. So, he made some moves. He wasn't scared to make moves. Let's give him until this trade deadline before we hammer him about things that he didn't do, because no one's done anything right now. There haven't been any trades yet.
I really don't expect much in the trade market. All I expect is Schroeder. For draft picks.
Yeah.
Because that'll get them under the tax.
Yeah.
And so
the young guys.
bridge year, they won't have to pay any taxes.
They must have acknowledged now they're not going anywhere. I mean, so
I would hope so.
That can't be still in the thought process.
So Brad Stevens has said that to me. He has said that, this team is broken in a lot of ways. He knows. He coached them for many years.
He knows exactly where the problems are and how he'd like to fix them.
That's why he left. He wanted to give it to Udoka. He was tired of that team. I mean, this is a young man. Why would he leave his profession if he wasn't sick and tired of it? But look, most likely we don't get a first-round pick, a future first-round pick for Schroeder. That's what it's looking like.
No, I think I'm with Joe. I think the most likely thing is Schroeder goes. They'll dump Hernan Gomez's contract. And the only two real questions to me are they going to actively shop smart? Have they concluded the same thing we have, which is that he can't play point guard, and therefore could we try to turn him into a point guard? And could you get something for Richardson, maybe packaging him with, Romeo and a pick and get an upgrade or something, because he's played well. By the way, Richardson's played, I think, pretty well this year.
Yeah, he's come on strong the last dozen games.
Right.
His first, 10 games here, I didn't know what the hell they picked up there.
If you had Richardson or Schroeder on that team 2 years ago, I think you go to an NBA final. Would you agree?
The one that lost to the Heat?
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe.
Oh, yeah.
Well,
Maybe.
It depends on what Schroeder too. Is it the Schroeder that's just trying to get his points, or is it the Schroeder that we saw for a little while?
Yeah, I think
Russ,
the
what
Schroeder,
is the story there? Why can Smart and Schroeder cannot be on the floor together? What's going on there?
Because they can't freaking shoot. Oh my God. I mean, they're the reason why they're losing the problem with this team is, yes, a point guard, but they don't have enough shooting. And when they play Schroeder, Smart, and Robert Williams in a closing five, no one can shoot. There's two guys on the court who can shoot. The other three guys, everyone's running away from when they have the ball at the free throw.
Take it, please.
Russ,
when they get a 15-point lead, there should a banner should go up, say, don't try any more 3-point shots. Take every freaking shot to the hole right now, because the way they lose these leads is they just keep pouring the threes up, and if they're not going in, the lead goes away.
Yeah, Timmy, as a season ticket holder, he is sitting there on Saturday night. They're up 23 in the fourth quarter with 4 minutes left of the game, and he's asking, "Are we safe?" 23.
What do they do?
Well, we better not leave.
Tatum comes down with 4 seconds expired on the shot clock, 20 seconds left to go, and he heaves up a contested three.
I know.
Right? Why do you do that, right? You could have. It would have been more effective to take the 24-second violation at that point.
Okay, question for you guys. I know maybe this is not a fair question. Do you, when you're watching Celtics games, do you ever feel the presence of Udoka?
Not yet. No.
Because great coaches, you feel their presence during the course of the game. Would you agree?
Well, Scotty, what do you think Udoka should have said to Tatum when he heaved up a really hard three?
Exactly what you
said. But Timmy, he took him out. But if you remember, he took him out.
What should he have said to Tatum at that moment?
No, but if you remember, he took him out. Tatum didn't play the last 5 minutes of the.
You're right. It was probably because of that play. I hope so. That's good. That's a good.
So he did take him out.
Yeah. It's a good question, Scotty. Although I have to say that the NBA more than any other league is a players' league. I watched that I couldn't take my eyes. I watched the Memphis Grizzlies Golden State Warriors game last night. It was an unbelievable game.
Those are two good teams.
Mainly because of the energy and the joyfulness that those teams played with. I mean, terrific pace with energy. They loved being out there. They were they had big personalities. They were smiling and stuff. The Celtics played joyless basketball. Joyless.
Yeah, I agree.
It is painful to watch.
Is that an emanation from Jason Tatum's personality?
No, because we can't blame everything on Jason Tatum, for God's sakes. This is not Jason Tatum's fault.
He's the Tuca of the Celtics.
There seems to be a vibe that comes off of him. I don't know what it is.
I mean, if Jason Tatum looked plenty damn good when they had enough shooting and they had Gordon Hayward facilitating around them 2.5 years ago.
Yeah,
everyone was
not the exuberant type. That's what he doesn't look like. He's having a great time playing basketball.
Yeah, it's like it doesn't seem like there's a lot of joy in his game.
No.
Well, the Celtics fans who don't blame Jason Tatum blame Mac Jones.
Because he can be the point guard.
He's another guy who just gets shit no matter what he does. The guy
he's a rookie. He's got to in football, in basketball, rookies got to earn their place. Ime doesn't get any respect from the refs or the opposing players yet until he's been around the league for a little longer as a head coach. I mean, you got to earn your gravitas.
Am I overstating this? Does the vibe of a team kind of emanate from their superstar?
Yeah, but they're not. They're and they're not leaders. But so you're right in that sense. But I don't think it's all him. I think the combination of him, Brown, and Smart is not working. And I would start by getting rid of Smart. I would not start by getting rid of one of the J's. That would be insane to start with a J. Now, if by next trade deadline, we're having this conversation next January 12th, then one of the J's has to go.
Right. Yeah, I agree. Yeah,
well, I think most of the trades are going to be made in this off season.
I would think so.
The experiment will finally come to a conclusion.
I think so, Timmy. Like, I think you got to get a point guard. You got to surround those guys. You got to give them a point guard and get another couple of shooters on this team. And if they can't figure it out at that point in time, there's no hope for them.
I think Marcus Smart, and I said this last deadline, I think he's the kind of guy you could peddle right now for a team that needs that, what he brings, all that dirty stuff, and thinks that a guy like Marcus Smart will put you over the top.
If you're Utah, if you are the Warriors, if you're Atlanta right now, there's no team in the league who needs Marcus Smart more than Atlanta does. Their defense is atrocious. There's no toughness on that team whatsoever.
Yeah.
So
Utah could really use him too.
So we focus on a trade partner who has a very good point guard.
Well, yeah, but you're not getting Trae Young. You're not getting Mike Conley. You're not getting the point guards from there. You're not getting Steph Curry, right? So.
No, when you're looking for draft picks, Timmy, you're looking for future draft picks. You're looking for.
You got to look in the draft, and you got to look in the draft, and you got to see if that guy is there.
No, but
there's one guy. There's one guy actually
on the road.
There's one guy actually in the NBA that I think would be really smart for the Celtics to try to get a hold of, and it's also a team that could use markets. Is that kid Jalen Brunson has been terrific for Dallas. He's a natural point guard. He's been amazing when Luka's been out. He's got full-blown natural point guard skills. He's a unrestricted free agent. You'd be taking a chance. So you'd have to get salary back. But like, I'm sure Dallas would love to put Marcus Smart.
Can you send Brad a note, Russell?
Yeah.
Well,
because when Luka's back, Luka's the point guard,
He's the point guard. So but you put Marcus Smart next to Luka. No. I mean, that
would protect Luka too.
You would protect Luka in a big way and play defense
like
against,
a home run hitter batting behind you in the lineup.
That's right.
Well, let's go to the Red Sox, guys. First of all, I just want to mention, if you think about it, everyone rags on Tatum and Brown. Everyone rags on Mac Jones. Nobody rags on the Red Sox stars. Red Sox, as far as stars go, they get a free pass in this town, and they never used to get free passes.
Except for Chris Sale.
Yeah,
Chris Sale takes a beat. Hunter Renfroe was taking a beating.
Well, he's not a star, but the Xanders of the world, they have free passes. And the Devers, those guys, the Valdis of the world, people love them. And But the reason I'm turning to baseball is one thing. David Ortiz's Hall of Fame vote looks like it's now at 83%. He needs 75%. Obviously, I think we can all agree that's one of our favorite athletes in the history of our Boston sports experience. And Dan Shaughnessy, and I'm going to qualify.
I was going to bring him up.
Dan Shaughnessy, when we started this show, I emailed Shaughnessy and Bob Ryan. Bob Ryan was our first guest in the show. He really catapulted our show. He was we had a great time with him and his wife. Dan Shaughnessy emailed me, said, I'm busy and I'll always be busy. Okay. So and then this is the rip this fuck. So I saw one of my friends at Brookline Booksmith and a few weeks ago, and they said, Shaughnessy has a book. Why don't you contact him to be on your show? I did that. He gave me the same answer 7 years later. Okay, the reason I talk about this asshole is that he has been holding this town hostage as the main sports columnist for Boston Globe for years. And he votes in the Hall of Fame. Jeff Kent is the only person that he votes for. Some schmucky second baseman. He has the option to vote for 10 players, and he ignores David Ortiz. A slap in the face
and
to
everyone else.
That's a slap?
He feels like he's up on his golden throne, ordaining princes who kiss his butt, I think is what it is.
I mean, no, really, this is. But he has been the main sports columnist in this town for many years, and this is an embarrassment to this sports.
Scotty, he wears that like a badge of honor. Right. He'd love to hear us talking like this right
now. He's trolling everybody. He's trying to do it to make a point, to create some buzz. It's sad.
By the way, create 6 more columns for him out of it.
And it's also duplicitous in the sense that, like, Jeff Kent fits the profile of a user, right? Of steroid. Like, if his whole thing is none of these other guys, like all these other guys were steroid users. Like, Jeff Kent could have just as easily been a steroid user just as much as David Ortiz ever was. So he votes for Jeff Kent? Like,
Jeff Kent,
he didn't show up in a report?
Aren't even in the same conversation. Never mind Ortiz.
It's embarrassing. Don't you agree? It's embarrassing. And it's just so he can be on more shows and he can profit. So he'll profit from this embarrassing, pathetic act.
I mean, did Dan Shaughnessy not see Manny Ramirez up at bat? I mean,
no, but I don't think it's even that. I think it's all about, his whole thing is going to be, I'm not voting for a cheater, right? And that's his whole thing. If you take a look at his ballot, it's all about not voting for cheaters. And that's his point. And it's just a silly point.
And it gives him all sorts of cannon fodder for a dozen easy columns for him to write now.
Exactly.
Once he's got the brouhaha going, now he can just sit back. He's got this column written. He's written it every year for 5 years, 10 years, and he just recycles it out there. He has an easy time of it.
Well, we're a great sports town. We were very passionate. The Boston Globe is still around, and I think that we deserve better than Dan Shaughnessy, and I've had enough of him. And he'll never be invited on this show ever again. I will never go down that road.
We should look forward to the Scott Kerman byline.
Absolutely, yeah. I could write. I'm far better writer than that man ever thought about being. Now this is all about Timmy. Timmy, who's fighting COVID, and he's so courageous right now. He tried to get Tuca out of town. He tried so very hard, and Tuca's back, basically getting paid minimum wage because of Timmy. Timmy, how do you feel about Tuca signing with the Bruins for a chump change?
Well, what is this? This is like when you have this great girlfriend, right? And you're finding the little flaws in her that why she isn't perfect. And then all of a sudden she kicks you to the curb, and you go out and you date a few other girls, and you realize how great she really was. I mean,
is he going to be good though with the hip?
Tuca was playing good, and I got to take my hat off to the guy. Look at the salary he took. I mean, I can't believe it. I mean, this guy, he's, in this day and age of money, this guy, I don't know what's driving him, but he came back for like nothing.
Timmy, I totally agree with you. Like, I can do nothing but applaud this whole thing. Like, so first off, he's playing for the love of the game as much as anything. He's going to make what, $540,000. That's a sliver of what he could have made. It's a sliver of what he's made, right? He doesn't need to do this. He probably wants a cup. He probably loves the game. He loves Boston. He loves his teammates and wants to be with them for this last run at the cup. So God bless him for that. And by the way, also not a bad idea to have 3 good goalies in a world in which you can lose 2 to COVID like that for 6 days.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And the golf courses are closed. We have to take that.
Right. And the golf courses are closed.
And the strip joints are open still, I think.
I don't know. I love it. I think he's been inconsistent. He's done some dumb things, but like, I've never had a problem with Tuukka. Tuukka's a good athlete. Tuukka's been good for Boston.
I just worry, is he still good now after the hip?
Who knows? If he isn't, they can cut him.
Yeah, and Swayman comes up.
Right.
Simple as
my
that.
knock on Tuukka, I go to a lot of Bruins games. This was my knock on Tuukka. We'd get on and we'd take 12 shots, and I'd see the opposing goalie stand on his head and make 5 spectacular saves, and the other team would come down and take a snapshot from the top of the circle and beat him. But the last couple of years, I didn't see that much. I mean, he kind of improved his angles or whatever he did, but he seemed to overcome that. And he was playing very, very good his last couple of years.
Look, the last couple of years, they didn't play him as much. I think that was the point. He didn't like playing 2 out of 3 nights. He likes playing every other night.
I think that's
a great point, Joe. Look, the hockey season never ends. It's January. You're going to have a rested Tuukka Rask. It's got to mean something come playoff time.
Let me tell you, hockey puts a beating on your body. I mean, just after a college or high school season, I'd be a mess. Every part would hurt somewhere,
Also, how about you don't have the book on Tuukka right now? These guys scout these teams. There's not a whole lot of book on him right now. I think this is a great move for a team.
I think it's a great move. And I would also just like, we bag on a lot of our coaches, but how about Cassidy, making a move to split the lines up? And what are they, 4-1, 5-1 since that? They're scoring 5-on-5 goals. Both lines are doing well.
Scored 7 goals the other night.
And it seems like Pasta has brought life to Hall.
Yeah.
Like, Hall needs someone around him. That's obvious now. I mean,
you see, Krejci gave him a shot from home in Czechoslovakia there. He said, yeah, now you put Pasternak down on my line.
Oh, I told you, Krejci's coming back. You know it. Why is he even talking if he's not coming back?
Oh, he was pissed. He sounded really pissed that all these years he wanted Pasternak as his right wing.
Yeah.
Never got him.
Cassidy was like, we didn't put Pasternak there because we had Krejci.
Yeah.
David Krejci should have somebody waiting outside his door, Boston cops, to arrest him. He stole so much money in this town.
That is ridiculous. I don't know what he's talking about. That's a ridiculous. Look, I know he's not that's a ridiculous statement.
No, it's not.
That's a ridiculous statement.
Yeah.
Russ, he was invisible for long periods of time.
But he did not. We have athletes stealing money by the day in this city. Like, are you kidding me?
No, I'm not
kidding. But Krejci wouldn't play unless he had a world-class guy next to him. Otherwise,
he gave up the puck.
Like it. I don't know why he picked. He finally had a line mate in Hall, and he picks now to leave. I didn't get it.
I can't wait until he's back.
Man, I know he's coming back.
Not happening.
No, he is coming back. I can feel it.
One of my top 10 favorite players in Boston.
those
not happening.
What are your top 10 favorite players in Boston?
Yeah,
he is now, just to get you a goal.
That's how I'm giving him.
Maybe even top 5, I would say.
Top 5.
He just pushed Bergeron right out of the picture.
Between him and Bergeron.
Wait, you guys don't. See, I hold all this burden. I'm not like Timmy. I'm not like la 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 dee da dee da. You don't remember him giving up the freaking puck puck, game 6 of the Blackhawks.
I also remember Marchand making a big mistake that cost us the Stanley Cup.
Scotty, this is the benefits of a 12-step program that I have.
I also remember Marchand blowing a line change and costing us the Stanley Cup.
Whoa.
Whoa.
I think I'll turn around and go off the ice at this moment.
You love Marchand. You love Krejci more than you love Marchand.
I'm playing that over in my mind right now. He was like 70 feet away from me when he did that, and I watched that game go away.
Yeah, no, of course I like Marchand better than Krejci, but like
everyone likes the Rat.
Guys make mistakes. Marchand made a huge mistake, cost him dearly.
I can't believe we should have won 3 cups with this group.
Yes, we should have. Krejci shouldn't have given up the puck, and Marchand shouldn't have gone off the ice. Right.
3.
And it was like going back in the days. Too many men on the ice.
Yeah.
When the game was already won.
I mean, you think
Montreal was getting sent packing.
Are we going back to the dark years here, guys? Again?
No, I'm kind of excited about this team right now. Like they do something maybe at the deadline. They've got 3 goalies. The line change seemed to work. Hall seems to be unlocked a little bit. Like
little thin on the D. Little thin on the D though.
Yeah, they are, but maybe they patch it up at the deadline. They're 19-11 for God's sake. This is they're winning 2/3 of their games.
They seem to have an inexhaustible supply of third D pairing guys down there in Providence.
Right.
I know, but no one that's really that good. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I've never trusted Vacanine, and he's back.
When it comes to the playoffs, you need stellar D.
Yeah,
you need.
I think they need a defenseman. That's what I would do.
Well, that's a great segue, Rusty boy. Thank you for asking. Is the trading deadline? Are we in, or are we just kind of?
Got to be, because this is the window's closing in this team.
Right?
Go all in right now.
And there's no overwhelming couple of teams this year that are dominating either.
No.
So Bergeron's contract is up. God knows he's made a hell of a lot of money, and I'm sure he'll make a lot of money in his post career. Is this it for Bergeron? Do you think he gives it up?
No, I think he'll go year to year like Chara did, right? Just say, do I feel like doing it this year? Do we have a good enough team? I don't know. Why not?
It's a little too early for him to hang it up. He's still got some games going.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Look at Chara. He's still trying out there.
I know. Yeah. It's unbelievable. All right, boys. Well, that's our show for tonight. I want to thank everyone behind the scenes. Ian, thank you very much.
Thank you, Ian.
Want to thank the fellows. Please check us out on our website at thegrandstanders.com and tune in again next Wednesday night at 6:30 for another edition of Grandstanders Live. I'm your host, Scott Kerman. Have a great and happy night.